With Nia Jax and Naomi both drafted to SmackDown, could we potentially see them getting involved somewhat with the Bloodline storyline on opposing sides? And in this episode, we are talking all about the potential additions to the Bloodline and Bloodline 2.0, potential additions of Nia Jax and Naomi to opposing sides of the new and OG Bloodline. All that and more in this episode of The Angle Podcast. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your host, Joey Carney. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Angle Podcast. Always welcome you with open arms. Now, if you are a new viewer and a potential new subscriber, hopefully by the end of this video, you are a new subscriber. I hope by the end of this video that I somewhat inspire you to smash that subscribe button like the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns would, and enjoy more content here on the channel and join our wrestling community on my little corner on the Angle Podcast. Now, if you continue watching this video, I'll be dropping some major info on a new giveaway. It's actually my biggest giveaway yet. No, it's not the 4 free months of Peacock or the free edition of WWE 2K24. It is something much, much bigger. It involves you. And it involves, well, attending a WWE live event. Keep watching that video. All that info and more coming your way in just a little bit. Now, if you are just tuning into this video, we are talking all about new additions to the Bloodline, potential additions to the Bloodline, including Nia Jax and Naomi. Now, what's interesting about this topic is that both Nia Jax and Naomi are already real-life members of the Bloodline. Naomi, formerly known as Trinity in Impact Wrestling, she is married, spoiler alert, to Jimmy Uso outside of wrestling. Nia Jax is one of the cousins. Now, what makes this very interesting is that Nia Jax and Naomi have both been drafted to SmackDown in the most recent WWE Draft. Now, this was a, theory I came up with before the draft. Now that they're both on the same show, it makes it more possible. It is almost inevitable that they'll be involved together at some point just because of the family history. It makes sense creatively, and I really do think that the WWE Universe would highly enjoy somewhat of a Bloodline inclusion of the women's division, that being Nia Jax and Naomi. Now, there are other members of the Bloodline in the women's division, such as Tamina Snuka. She's been gone for God knows how long, but she could potentially also be involved with the Bloodline. If you remember, a few years back, she was actually in a tag team with Nia Jax. They weren't anything associated to the Bloodline. I don't even think the Bloodline was a storyline or a faction at the time, but they were the OG Bloodline, if you want to put that, if you want to say it like that. They are the OG Bloodline members coming together, well, in WWE. Now, to kind of recap what's been happening with the Bloodline as of late, Roman Reigns went down at WrestleMania, defeated by Cody Rhodes, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, finally took a pin. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is your new WWE Champion. Since then, Roman has disappeared, and Solo Sikoa has taken it upon himself to kind of, but not really, be the Tribal Chief, the new Tribal Chief. Hasn't really said that he was the Tribal Chief, has just been saying he is, everything he's been doing as of late is by order of the Tribal Chief. So fans are speculating, is that Roman Reigns he's referring to? Because Paul Heyman has no freaking clue what's happening. Is it somebody else? Is it The Rock pulling strings while he's away from WWE? A lot of things going to play here. I do believe that we'll be seeing The Rock back in WWE once again to pick up where he left off with Cody and the Bloodline. I really do think personally that The Rock is the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, forming his own bloodline in the sense of Solo Sikoa, in the sense of Tama Tonga, and the upcoming debut of Jacob Fatu, which, by the way, all of these guys are in the bloodline. This family has 1 million members across the board, all around the world in professional wrestling. It's kind of inevitable to not have them all together at some point because there's so damn many of them. So essentially what we've been seeing is a new bloodline. I really hope that they don't call it the new bloodline or Bloodline 2.0 like we saw back in the day with the Nexus when there was the new Nexus. Just keep it as the Bloodline, the OG name. Now, backtracking to what I was saying. Roman Reigns is out. Jimmy Uso was essentially kicked out of the Bloodline by Solo Sikoa and kind of replaced with Tama Tonga. Solo Sikoa is running the show as of late. New Bloodline with Paul Heyman, Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu will be debuting soon. Don't know if The Rock is pulling the strings or if Solo is the new tribal chief. Roman Reigns will essentially come back at some point and not be in control of the Bloodline, which would lead to his version of a reunion of the Bloodline, including Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso. And that leads me to what I've been thinking, what I've been saying, the video topic for today. Today's episode is all about it. WWE including the women's division in the Bloodline storyline, because we have the members, Nia Jax and Naomi, both members, like I said, of the family of the Bloodline. It would make sense because Nia Jax has credited a lot of her career to The Rock, to that side of the Bloodline. Naomi is married to Jimmy Uso, so if we were to include the women's division in the Bloodline storyline, you could easily see Nia Jax join Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu, or The Rock, whoever joins down the road. You see Naomi join the Usos and Roman Reigns. Now, I put out this idea on TikTok and Instagram. You can follow me there on both of those platforms. My handle is @TheAngleJoey, where I kind of, in 30 seconds or less, kind of gave this idea with what can happen. And my audience on both platforms absolutely loved this idea. So I'm really excited to hear your opinion here on YouTube, what you think about this idea, because I think it would be really interesting and really just deepen the idea of the Bloodline, making it the greatest storyline of all time. It's been running for over 3 years, and to deepen it with the women's division, I think would just be next level, just because we have the members there. It's like a shame to not utilize them. Obviously, Naomi is involved with the WWE Women's Championship right now. We saw Nia Jax kind of start to get involved now that she's drafted to SmackDown. She did take out Naomi on Raw, which stirs those ideas even more. Maybe we see them involved at some point. Even if it's not in the Bloodline, I would love to see Nia Jax and Naomi either team up or face each other at some point. But being a part of the Bloodline storyline would just make so much sense. It would pull on the heartstrings. You know, you see Jimmy Uso get attacked once he's cleared, obviously, because he's out with injury. He gets attacked by like Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, and Naomi's out there to rescue him, and then Nia Jax comes out and takes out Naomi. It gives more depth to the storyline. It pulls on the heartstrings, and it goes across the board. It gets every viewer. There are fans of the WWE Universe who just like to watch women's wrestling, and you can get them involved in the Bloodline storyline by including the women. It just makes sense. I would love to see it. I know a lot of other people would love to see it. And overall, Nia Jax in the Bloodline, I think just makes her an even bigger powerhouse. Now, what makes this topic even more interesting is that I was actually able to chat with Nia Jax at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. WWE had invited me out as media, and I was able to cover the event, talk with superstars, and just enjoy the Royal Rumble. And one of the questions I asked Nia Jax was if she would be interested in joining the Bloodline, becoming the tribal chief, the tribal queen, and this, very interesting, was her response.
Is there a chance that maybe we can see Nia Jax join the Bloodline or get her hands somewhere on the Bloodline where you could be the next tribal chief?
Well, if they ever needed me, they know where to go and who to call. But they're doing so great. The Bloodline's amazing. You know, there's a little bit of rift in the boys. I feel like they need to patch things up. But if they ever need me, I'm always down. But they're doing a great job.
So we know that Nia Jax would be interested in getting involved and joining one of the Bloodlines. She's now drafted to SmackDown. Naomi is now drafted to SmackDown. The Bloodline are all on SmackDown. Triple H, WWE Creative, other creative writers in the company. If you were watching this, if you were listening, I think it makes perfect sense to add Nia Jax, Naomi to the Bloodline, opposing Bloodlines, create a Bloodline Civil War, which it looks like that's the way they're going anyway. Why not just include the women? Whether this goes down at Survivor Series, whether this goes down at WrestleMania or any other show, I highly think that the WWE Universe would be floored by this. Imagine you're watching SmackDown or a paper or PLE and you see like Nia Jax come out to help the Bloodline and take somebody out. Like one of the male superstars. She's done it before. And then you have Naomi come out to like take her. I think it would just make the Bloodline storyline that much better. And you've heard Triple H say how this storyline it has legs everywhere. It can grow and grow and grow. And there's so many members of the damn Bloodline that you can just keep adding members and building this storyline. Whether it's male or female talent, there's so many of them that make it interesting. And what I think the best part about this is that it's all real. They are a family, and there are levels to this in the sense of who's the head of the table, who's the tribal chief, who is the queen of the kingdom, sort of say. And I really do think that this would eventually lead to obviously a Rock versus Roman match, and then a Roman versus Solo Sikoa match. There's just so much room to create magic with this, and it starts with adding the women to the Bloodline. Naomi to the OG Bloodline with the Usos and Roman Reigns. Nia Jax to the new Bloodline with Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and whoever else is added, The Rock, Jacob Fatu. This storyline is just pure cinema. Now, I told you earlier on that if you kept watching, I would drop all this info for my latest giveaway, and you've made it to that point in the video. I am giving away, man, this is my biggest giveaway, and it's actually very exciting for me to announce. I'm now working with SeatGeek. They are one of my new sponsors for the show. If you use the code TheAngleJoey, you can get $20 off your first purchase of tickets. Download the SeatGeek app now. Use my code, like I said, TheAngleJoey. Get $20 off. And for my giveaway, this is a big one. The description down below has a link. If you click that link, it takes you to my website. Less than 5 seconds. Your name and your email. All you have to submit. You could be entered to win. Not one. 2 free tickets to a WWE event in your area. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving away 2 tickets to a WWE live show in your area. If you win, I'll get in contact with you, obviously, and we'll discuss which event and where, depending on where you live. And I'll be giving away, like I said, 2 free tickets to a WWE live event in your area. Enter your info down below to enter this massive giveaway. And again, use the code TheAngleJoey to get $20 off your first purchase of tickets. SeatGeek, download the app. And I don't know what you're waiting for. SeatGeek is them. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this episode, this new episode of The Angle Podcast. I'm back to doing my show weekly. You'll be seeing more videos like this, more interviews. I have interviewed so many past, present, and future talent in pro wrestling. I've interviewed WWE Hall of Famers like Eric Bischoff, JBL, RVD, future stars, independent wrestlers all across the board. I have a plethora of superstars on my resume of interviews. You can all check that out on my channel, The Angle Podcast, right here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can get all that and more. If you are a returning subscriber, you know I got love for you. Thank you for always tuning in and supporting the channel. It means the world to me. More subscribers is more support for any content creator. And if you are a content creator who is watching this, you know exactly what I mean. And it just means the world. So again, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for your continued support. If you are a new viewer, I hope by now you smash that subscribe button. Enjoy more content on my channel. There will be more videos coming to you every week right here on YouTube. And you can also listen to them on, let's see, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere, even on Amazon. You can listen to the Angle Podcast. I'm everywhere, baby. I'm waiting for you to get involved. Comment down below who you would rather see join the Bloodline, whether that would be Nia Jax or Naomi. I want to read your opinion so we can kind of discuss. And that's the best thing about pro wrestling. We can all have different opinions, be respectful, and enjoy this awesome thing that is pro wrestling. I don't know what you're still doing here. Go watch more content on The Angle Podcast. For now, I'm Joey Carney, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!